All right, this is a tutorial about how to do the last assignment for the Gamelan classes for UCLA, spring 2020. Uh, this one's going to focus on the Javanese. I gave this in the Balinese, but this is just kind of a refresher how to use it. So let's do this. You'll get the assignment later, but this is just kind of a tutorial about how to do the research. All right, so this is the Ethnomusicology Archive research page, Ethnomusicology Research Guide. We'll send you this link, but it's right there. And essentially just kind of go through. Generally, the assignment is to find music, good quality music from this resource, and then write a little bit about it. So maybe you don't know what our archive is. There's a lot of information, but essentially we have these large collections from people who have done fieldwork on many different places. So this is maybe what you think about when you think of an archive. So let's just call it, let's make a search term of Java. And this is searching within the collection of the Ethnomusicology Archive, which is part of the library. And you can see that this is music, Sundanese music. This is different things. So let's try to do one from gamelan music of Surakarta, Katan. So that's solo. So that counts for our class. So this is kind of the information about it. The only problem is that we are remote right now and all of these things are physical. So this is a really great resource to do when you're on campus. We have a great listening area, but for the time being, it's a little bit hard to access these things. So this is, normally where you would start, but that's not what we can do right now. So then, I guess at the bottom of this page, what I should tell you is the bottom of this page, you need a VPN to use it, not to get on this page, but to access any of these things. So basically as UCLA students, the VPN is basically so you can access the library material. So you'll need to have that, and the information of how to do that is here on this page. So right on the landing page, way at the bottom, is one of our earliest videos we made for the department.
These UCLA students are learning to perform the music of Java. They are in the UCLA Institute of Ethnomusicology, the only one of its kind, where scholars are mapping the musical languages of the non-Western world.
So I'm not going to play it all for now, but you can kind of see where it's located. Yeah, the other great place of materials that we have is that the next page, the next one down at the Online Archive of California, and it's archived. This is sorted by the researchers who have donated it. So a lot of these people, I know their names, and I know these people. Tara Browner is currently a professor. Amy Catlin is also a professor currently. Other people, JJ had retired recently. Anyway, you're not going to know all of that. But again, let's look at Java. So we can go into the OpenReel collection, and then you go let's look at the item records, and again describes what's going on and what's on each thing. Here, let's do. Anyway, I don't have to show you everything here. This is something, again, if you were doing very intense research to be doing. The scope of notes, this one has Bali stuff. This is for Java, but there's that on here. But again, these are physical things that you would then have to get the stuff and order them to the archive and then look at them, and it's like the physical materials. That's not what we're expecting you to do for this assignment, but just so you guys kind of know that this is what we have going on at UCLA, and this is one of the biggest in North America, second only, I think, to Library of Congress. And then also University of Indiana, Bloomington has a pretty large ethnographic collection, but we're definitely up there. So long and short of it, the place that for your assignment is you're going to want to go to is this audiovisual online. So it's the second tab right here. And it'll basically pull up all these different sources. This is a recent project we've done over the last couple of years at UCLA Archive. It's pretty cool. Yeah, let's see. Is it under image gallery? Or maybe it's explore. Content? Musical instruments. Okay, musical instruments takes you to this map. It all loops back on each other. It's just different ways to access it. But anyway, we can go down here to Java. Here's Pakchoko right here. So this is recorded, gives you some information, more details, and has pictures of all the instruments. And then we have this great live performance that was done. So I'm not going to play all these things now, but there's more information there. And then there's image gallery, which again, you can, put a search term in here, Java, and these are what come up. And so this is not the music, but this is just kind of good to know, just kind of so you know it's at the archive. And this is some of the earliest documentation we have in the United States. So we have the Gamelan Prince Harbo at 957. So it's from, I think, the Mantle Hood collection, who's one of the earliest researchers in the US of this stuff, who was at UCLA. So yeah, these are photos. And so that's good. I mean, this is good to know, good to access. Again, this is a little bit more user-friendly for what you guys might be doing. And the next one, it's just the next one down. And it just has more ways of sorting it. And these collections are based upon both what's at UCLA, but also these are larger archives. So this is, if we want to do, really in-depth study, this is a really great resource. But for the sake of this class, that's not totally what we're trying to do. This California Revealed is what we had before, but this is just the audio-visual ones, because the other one I was showing you that has all these like images and other documentation this way, but this one focuses on audio-visual. And since we are very internet focused these days, these types of resources are very attractive. So this has the original video that we saw. I forget what else is on here to do. I guess we'll do gamelan. Yeah, so these are the videos that we have. So we don't have as many digitized on here, but this is Balinese, just because I know what that is. And these are discussions about gamelan, but not quite what we're doing. All right, let's just move on to what you guys might be using for your class last project. So this last thing, again, under Audiovisual Archive or Audiovisual Online, and then there's this thing called Alexander Street Press, and basically these three links are going to be really great. And so these are commercial releases, and usually from Smithsonian, UNESCO, other type educational-based institutions. And the great things about this is that they come with liner notes, and usually the quality is very good. So we can do gamelan. And Lombok, Kalimantan, Banyumas. So we just looked up gamelan, right? And so as we've learned in class, there's lots of styles of gamelan. So I think for this final project, you have to make sure that it's Central Javanese. And if you're in the Balinese class, the Balinese kind. So you have to kind of start looking through. I know the guy who made this, and so I know that there's some tracks on here. Let's see. Maybe it wasn't this one, maybe it was. But you can look at the liner notes and it kind of will tell you where stuff is from. This is where, well, I won't play it for you now, but I was looking at this Stambol Bila, which is something I'm interested in. And so that's interesting. So that is not what we want. So you have to keep going. Kromon. So yeah, okay. So I think this one has it on there. Oh yeah, here. So so this is nice because it can play. So here's track 7. Just so we're not competing. So this is the song that we're playing, and you'll have to, go through the liner notes. These are sometimes CD releases and things. So these are, so this is the Lagu Babar Layar, and this is from Yogyakarta, which is one of the styles of Central Javanese Gamelan we've talked about. Be careful, Yogyakarta can be spelled with J's, it can be spelled with Y's. Surakarta, which is the other side, can also be solo, so you'll have to get used to different uses. Anyway, I don't need to go into the specifics of that, but that's something you can look at. And then what I would suggest is looking at a couple, because a lot of the liner notes can actually be cross. As you saw at the beginning of those liner notes, it's kind of general information. So this can be useful too. You don't have to look at just the specific song, but yeah, the general information goes all the way for 2 pages. And then, it actually 4 pages. And then finally here, it goes song by song. So that's one. And so also you can do Central Java. I think when I was doing this before, for some reason, this one was not as friendly. Yeah, that's not as friendly. So that's just a way to start. And for some reason, the Balinese one under those headings worked really well, but Central Java, not as much. But for a really good one for everyone is, again, under this Alexander Street Press, and then the World for Alexander Street. I do think it's actually all the same library, but it's just categorized differently. So let's just wait for this to load. And you have to kind of figure out what search terms you want to use. So Gamelan, Java, Bali, if you're using that. One that is also good is Kraton, which is the palace. So here, yeah, Yogyakarta, Kraton, Gamelan, the Kraton. So, and that gets you around whatever spelling you want to do of Yogyakarta. So yeah, this is definitely what we're talking about. So you can play it, listen to it. So this is written by Roger Vetter, who made that website that we actually looked at today in class. And so his stuff is very well done. So those are ones to look at. And then all of these have different things that you can explore. Yeah, again, you have to look at the assignment for the specifics, but this just can kind of get you started. So here's an example from Surakarta. And so if you wanted to talk about the difference between solo and Jogja a little bit, you could look at this and so there's a little crash course how to use this. There's plenty more. Oh, here, where'd he go? This is Mantlehood, who we were talking about earlier. Yeah, so there's plenty of other resources on here that I, encourage everyone to look at and enjoy, because there's a lot of fun stuff from music all around the world. But this is kind of a focus on gamelan and some of the ways to get good information of not just good recordings, but also good liner notes that go up with inform about it. You guys understand. So yeah, good luck.